You don't get any closer to God's great creation than to be out in the quiet of the woods.
To sit and reflect and to hear the chirping of the birds and the humming of the wildlife that's all around you.
I experienced real connection with creation, and I experienced real connection with God.
I have a good friend, a pastor, who once told me that you can learn about God by reading His truth in the Bible or stopping, sitting still, looking around at what He's made. And Outdoor Ministries allows us the opportunity to have a time and place apart where we can do just that.
As soon as you turn the corner where the sign says Luther Springs, the world changes.
Luther Springs is one of my favorite places on earth.
There is something really special about this place.
It's top-notch as far as I'm concerned.
You're just surrounded by the Spirit.
It's like a second church to me.
Every time I come up here, I just kind of look up and see all the stars, and see all the trees and stuff, and then I'm home. It's my second home.
It's wonderful and beautiful, and it's the coolest thing I've ever seen. You should definitely go to Luther Springs. Luther Springs is awesome!
It's mind-blowing. It's really fun.
For many decades, youth and adults from Florida would travel to the mountains of western North Carolina to experience a time and place apart. And while they really appreciated it, there grew a desire that there could be a place closer to home.
When Luther Springs first opened, it was just a tent and trailer campground. And now today we have grown and developed into complete and modern facilities for retreats and youth camping.
My favorite thing about being a part of Luther Springs is the lives that it touches in general.
We brought children out here a couple of times, and they were just amazed at the fact that they didn't hear sirens and they didn't hear those noises.
We live in a community where there's killings several times a year. So the kids know that kind of thing, but they don't know a safe place. They don't know a place where they can just have fun and just be kids.
You know, it's just such a wonderful ministry in reaching them and in getting them excited about God, about church, about just being in God's world, but in a different setting.
And to see those kids there and watch them experience it, it's unbelievable.
Luther Springs is becoming increasingly a hosted ministry market where we're able to do adult faith formation with women's groups and men's groups, midweek groups, and empty nester groups, and early retired groups, and late retired groups who can come in, and that's really where our growth is.
Because not only do kids need, time apart and being away from the digital world, but the rest of us do too.
When we get kids and adults in places apart, Holy Spirit does phenomenal things that sometimes aren't possible to do with the kind of pressures we all have back at home.
Luther Springs has the wonderful problem of being a little bit full. Things are a little bit tight.
It's just a very, very busy place these days.
The summer camps are growing. Our weekends during the year are booked.
In the month of February this year, we didn't have one day that the camp wasn't being used.
A lot of the groups that would like to come there, we haven't had the facilities to house them.
I'm helping someone plan a retreat right now, and we can't do it at Luther Springs because there's not enough beds.
We can do really small gatherings incredibly well. We have Miss Sarah and excellent food. There's so many excellent things happening there. But right now, it's a capacity issue.
So to meet all these needs, we're now launching this wonderful campaign called Mission Possible.
What we want to do is get bigger without seeming more crowded.
We're going to expand the kitchen. The kitchen is about the size of a residential home kitchen, and yet we're serving well over 100 people for many meals. Then the porch is going to be retrofitted to serve as overflow dining. The next project are additional guest rooms. We'll double our capacity for serving adults at Luther Springs. Then the Schmertman meeting room that was built 3 years ago is already too small. So we're building a new meeting room that'll serve up to 125 people.
We have the opportunity to purchase a critical piece of land at Luther Rock. And because we are all part of that Novus Way family, if that's important for Luther Rock, it's important for us here in Florida because we are a part of that.
the expansion of some of the property, the paying down of the debt, and of course, buying that buffer land up at Luther Rock. All of these are crucially important. Luther Springs is at a crossroad, and it's come so far in recent years. This expansion will allow it to really get to the next level and allow congregations and the whole synod to use it more effectively.
I think everybody has an opportunity to support this ministry in a way that's unique to them.
We'll be going to individuals for advance gifts. We'll be going to congregations. We'll be going to former board members. Every Lutheran in Florida will have an opportunity to make the Mission Possible campaign a success.
And some people can give because they have recurrent income that they can give on a regular basis. Other people have assets that they can contribute or gift at this time. It might be an appreciated asset like marketable real estate or securities. If we are blessed with something that's grown, I think it's a good idea to consider gifting it.
Mission Possible is a strong statement of our faith in God, that we are willing to cast the net and go deeper and get behind this project. Together as church, we can do this.
Join the excitement. Make it a priority to get your congregation members and your larger community, to the extent you can get out beyond your doors, get them involved in outdoor ministries. It is so worth it.
And the ministry that Luther Springs does through its campers, through its retreats year-round, and through its leadership development of young people is something that our synod needs so badly.
If you have not been to Luther Springs, come and see it.
I don't know how many kids I've had come up to me and say they just don't want to leave.
I've actually been here 4 times in a row.
It's a time and a place apart where our focus and our conversation is about how God is active in our world, God is active in our lives, and God is active in our communities. Our capital campaign can make this real, not only for today, but for generations to come.
Everything we have because of God. So we are challenged by God to give that back. And what better way to do that than to provide more place, more space for people to worship God, to grow together in faith, and to strengthen their own faith journey.
And in just your faith. Your faith tells you you should be involved with things like this.
Everybody can do a little.
If you want to leave a legacy for our kids, for our church, to have a place where people can go and really be nurtured and fed and uplifted, Luther Springs can be that kind of a place, and you can help to make that happen. You can help to support a wonderful ministry for now and well into the future.